Good morning, children. Hope you all are fine. I hope you all are copying down all the question answers and which we are discussing into your biology notebook. Okay, we will go into the part 4 revision question answers. Okay, give the chemical formula of ozone. What is its role in atmosphere? What is the main cause for its depletion? So we are going to study the chemical formula of ozone. It is O3. What is the role in the atmosphere? We all know that it is absorbs all the harmful radiations of the atmosphere from the sun and protects us from the damage of UV caused by the these radiations, that is the UV rays, the harmful UV rays of the suns. This ozone layer absorbs, and that's how it protects us from the harmful radiations of the sun. Then how is it depleted? That means how now we say that there are holes in the ozone layer. So how these holes are caused? It is because of human activities and our over usage of CFCs. So these are that is chlorofluorocarbons. The use of these chemical is too much in our nature now. So that is why the ozone is getting depleted. It is spoiled. So CFCs, man-made components, reach the ozone and deplete it. Okay. Now next one. What is the importance of ozone layer in our life? So it is nothing but the function of ozone only. The answers are same, but in certain cases there are different type of questions for the same answer. Before we saw that what is the role in the atmosphere. In the last question we saw what is the role of ozone in the atmosphere. In this question, what is the importance of ozone in our life? So it is like both same answers, but the questions are different. So what can we say? It is ozone prevents harmful ultraviolet radiations of the sun to reach the earth. It will absorb all those things. So that's why in CBSE, in most of the cases, the answers are same, but you get questions differently. Now, the second one is write any two ways by which water pollution affects the aquatic organisms. Okay, how the water pollution are affecting the aquatic organisms. Okay, any change that reduces the amount of dissolved oxygen has an adverse effect on aquatic organisms. So if the amount of dissolved oxygen is disturbed due to some chemical compounds or due to something, the aquatic organisms are killed. Then sudden change in temperature is dangerous for them and affect their breeding. That's how so the river and all those things, the lakes and the water bodies will have a normal temperature. When it gets sun's light, what happens? On top you will have different type of plants, and depending on the light intensity of light inside or below the water bodies, the water organism, the aquatic organisms are present according to that. But when we open the reservoirs or when we open the dams into this lakes, what happens? The system or the ecosystem which is present in the water bodies will be disturbed, and the eggs of certain fishes and aquatic organisms will get destroyed. Temperature difference means for example, in a dam, you will the surface water will be very hot due to the sun's heat. When it goes below, there is when the light is not reaching, the water will be cool. So when we open this water into the rivers or water bodies, the temperature difference is there. So that is how it will affect the aquatic organisms. Okay, now how is humus a major factor in deciding the soil structure? That is the next question. List any 4 factors, processes that are responsible for the formation of soil from rocks. Those 2 are the questions. Now we'll check the answer. How is the humus a major factor in deciding the soil structure? Okay, humus makes the soil more porous and allows the water and air to penetrate deep in the soil. So the humus means it is nothing but the dead remains of plants and animals. It is present in the soil, and what happens? It will allow the soil, the water to penetrate, the air to penetrate in the soil. So the soil will become porous, and since it allows the air and water, it will increases the fertility of the soil. Now next is list any 4 factors that are helping in the formation of the soil from rocks. We already saw that sun is one of the factor, water, wind and living organisms. All these are the factors. I'll just tell you in a single line, because sun, I told you, due to the uneven heating of the rocks. During the day it is very hot, so due to that the rocks will expand, and in the night the rocks will cool. So because of this expansion and contraction, every day cracks are formed in the rocks, and these cracks will widen by time and it will break into smaller pieces. Then what happens? Water means water will enter into the cracks, and when it freezes, it needs more space, so the crack will widen, and due to heavy rain also the rocks are broken down. Then living organisms, I told you, like mosses, bryophytes and lichens, when they grow on the rocks, the chemicals released from their roots will powder the rocks, and finally the soil is formed. So sun, water, wind and living organisms are the factors responsible in the formation of soil. Next, explain the terms ammonification, nitrification, then biosphere. Ammonification. It is the process of conversion of complex organic compounds into ammonia. So all the complex compounds are converted into ammonia. So that is ammonification. Next, nitrification. It is the process of conversion of ammonia into nitrites and nitrates. Only then the plants will be able to use the atmospheric nitrogen. Then biosphere. It is nothing but the biotic, abiotic factors present in the nature which sustains life. That whole thing together is called the biosphere. Biotic means it is the living things. It is nothing but plants, then animals, etc. Then abiotic factors are nothing but the water, soil, air, mountains, all those things. So the interaction between these 2 things keeps our life or sustains our life on the earth. So all these together is called the biosphere. Okay, though large oceans around land masses, the water needs to be conserved. Explain. We have a lot of oceans around, but still we don't have water. We are asked to conserve, save water for your future. Why? That is the question. Okay, so we know that water in the oceans are salty, so it is unfit for drinking, and the plants can't use this salt water for their growth. So that is why we are asked to conserve the fresh water. Only melting of ice and the fresh water are found in only few sources. The snow should melt, then rivers, ponds, lakes and all those things, and rain. So when rain, you have to harvest the rainwater, so you can use it for future. That is why we need to conserve, because the salt water is unfit for direct usage. Then the next, how the following factors contribute in the formation of soil. That's what I told you. Wind. Strong winds will erode the rocks down. Erode means they will, when strong winds are blown, they will break the rocks into smaller pieces, and these pieces will be carried away to far off places due to the heavy wind. Okay, next, fast flowing water also carries big and small rock particles down the stream. So these rocks rub against another rocks and causes rocks to wear into smaller and smaller pieces. So that's how the water is helping. And also the water expands on freezing, as I told you before. The fast flowing water, that is when the water is moving very fast, what happens? The big pieces of rock will be broken down into smaller pieces. And when the smaller pieces, when flowing on, when touching on the other rocks, will rub about against each other. And again these rocks will be broken down and carried off to different places, and that's how you get soil. And that's how the water is helping in the formation of soil. Next, the sun. I told you the sun's heat heats up the rocks during the day, so they expand. At night, these rocks cool down and contract. So this results in the formation of cracks, and ultimately the huge rocks breaks into smaller pieces. So that's why I told you the questions are asked in different ways. The answer is same. The questions are asked in a very different ways. So that is why that you have to understand the concept. Only then you will be able to answer any type of questions which you are getting. Okay, next one. Acid rain and smog are said to be the consequences of air pollution. How are they caused? What are the ill effects of breathing polluted air on human health? Acid rain and smog. These are said to be the consequences of air pollution. How are they caused? So how this acid rain and smog is caused, and how they are causing the when we inhale them, how it is affecting the human health. We will see that in the next answer. Oxides of nitrogen and sulfur. These are the air pollutants. Pollutants means nothing but the factors responsible for or causing pollution. These are called pollutants. So air pollutants are mainly oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. They dissolve in the rain and form nitric acid and sulfuric acid, and that's how the acid rain becomes acidic. So how do you get oxides of nitrogen and sulfur? When combustion and burning of fossil fuel. So all these only will add these type of things to the nature, to the air. So that's how when it is mixed with rainwater, nitric acid and sulfuric acid are formed. So that is how it is formed. Then suspended unburnt carbon particles, hydrocarbons, cause visibility to be lowered when water condenses during cold weather, and it is called smog. So in very cold places, what happens is this suspended unburned carbon particles, the automobile exhaust or the smoke coming out of the vehicles will be found. The unburned carbons present in the smoke will be present in the nature. So when the weather is very cold, what happens? The water vapor on the water vapor in the air will condense on these particles, and that's how smog is formed. So it will cause the visibility to be lowered, means you won't be able to see things clearly. So it is all covered and misty and smog is there, like so you won't be able to see things which are even closer to you. So that is how it is caused. So suspended particles from the unburnt carbon, that is the automobile exhaust actually. So they will be present in the cold weather. What happens? The water vapor in the nature will freeze and it will be deposit on the carbons, unburned carbons. So that's how smog is formed. Then the last part of the question, what are the ill effects of breathing polluted air? So when we breathe in such polluted air, what will happen to our body? Its ill effects are allergies, respiratory problems, cancer and heart diseases. So we know that allergies, a lot of people will have a lot of allergies, skin and respiratory tract. When you inhale all this, when it gets inside your nasal tract and lungs, you will get a lot of other problems like asthma and all those things. Then cancer and even heart diseases. So all these are caused. Okay children, so I will stop with this in this video. I will send you the notes regarding this also. We have discussed few more questions in this lesson. So copy down everything into your biology notebook. I told you these are the extra questions. Why did I choose this lesson means this is basically you need it for future, that is why. So I hope you all will do so. Have a nice day. Thank you.